Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Late Night with Kettle Kitchen. I hope everybody's doing good. Hold on a second. I got a bunch of notifications going off now. Hope everybody's doing okay. It's late night. Pre-notice to everybody. We are having our annual community gathering, carnival, get together, um, and it's tonight. So background music's included. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do anything about it because it's literally less than 100 feet away from me. So whether I'm in the house or in the location I'm at right now, it will be doing the same thing. So we got to kind of deal with it. Go ahead and see who all we have with us tonight. Lavender for Luck. Oh no, she posted earlier today. I'm not assuming she's not in here right now. Mennonite Farmhouse, she stopped by to say hello. How are you? And she's very tired, so she went to bed, I'm sure. Looks like we have Billy Lahan. I hope I didn't massacre that. Jesse, lazy days ahead. I agree with him. Wake up, Leanne. Homestead, where you are. How are you tonight? 12 Stones Ranch, nice to see you. Good Times Homestead. Hi, Jennifer. I am still adjusting to your name change, but I love the name. That's great. So it looks like that's who we got right now. We do have the intention of two guests coming on tonight. I know that you guys know both of them because they were on last week's. I felt like we didn't get an opportunity to finish questions with Blue, and I feel like we didn't even delve into Daz. And Blue's channel is Blue Self Reliance, which I'm going to put hers up here real quick. And I'm not sure if I have Daz's. I don't have on here, so Jesse, if you could drop that in there for me, that would be wonderful for his. I am giving Blue a minute here. She's finishing up, getting ready to come on. So a couple of things that have been happening through the last week. We started up Jamming Up June. Give me just a second. Okay, I see both guests there. I'll be back with you guys in just a second, so give me a minute. We went ahead and started Jamming Up June. That started on the 1st. It seems like the videos are being received pretty well. The comments are good. Thus far, I love the videos that have come out. People are intrigued to see what new recipes are out there and what's going on. So to everybody that is out there promoting it, I appreciate it. I think it's great. Jesse, you're awesome. You've been out there like a trooper promoting it, and I really do appreciate that. Aside from, I appreciate you modding too. You did modding the other day for me when we did Lavender for Luck. It was like a multi-played live stream is the word I'm looking for. And you jumped in there and you did that. So I greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much. Anytime any of the moderators come in, I greatly appreciate it because it's free to them. They don't get paid for it. They do it because they want to, or I'm assuming because they believe in the channel and they are good at it. The other thing I was going to say is one thing you guys will notice is Lavender for Luck is in here. She is primarily, from my understanding, a moderator for Sherry and Bobby over at Black's Tropical Homestead. She is also a moderator here on my channel as well now. She's good at what she does. She's really good, like Jesse is. I mean, she knows where to go get the information, and she's on top of it. So Jesse says we're non-union and we'll work for food. So just bear with them, be appreciative of them, and thank them for everything they do. So the other thing going on is I mentioned a couple times about being on um uh, sorry, Sherry and Bobby's live stream. They're doing a canning series in the month of June. So Wednesday, I think it's Wednesday of it might be Tuesday. I think it's Wednesday at 2 o'clock Eastern time here in the U.S. Their live stream goes on, and it's a 2 hour conversation about canning, the guidelines, hints, questions, things like that. So if you guys get a chance, please go over there. I think we're going to try to live stream it to all the channels of the four of us, which includes Sherry and Bobby at Black's Tropical Homestead. Then you have, of course, Glenda over at Grace and Fire. Great on canning knowledge. Good person altogether. Leanne from Mennonite Farmhouse. Awesome. Knows her stuff and a good person too. And then myself. So it's a bunch of good information of how to do it the right way. It's kind of a journey right now for Bobby and Sherry because they're canning officially, she puts it the right way for the first time this year. So they're looking forward to it. So just curiosity, are both my guests ready? Thumbs up. I got thumbs up. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and bring them up. And there is Blue from Blue's Self-Reliance. And there's Daz from oh, sorry, My Aussie Garden and Kitchen. So hi guys, how are you tonight?
I'm awake.
Oh, Daz, I don't hear you. Is your mic on? No?
He's muted.
No. Okay. Let me make sure I didn't do something to you. Yep, there you go. Now you're unmuted, it says. Nothing? Okay, let me.
Oh no.
Okay, nothing? No. Why don't you go ahead and drop out and try popping back in? Maybe something didn't pick up. Okay, so we'll go ahead and let Daz drop out, and he will be back in just a minute.
Bless
and we'll go ahead and start with you then, Blue.
Good morning.
So yes, good morning to you because it is a morning time over there, isn't it?
It is.
Goofy. What do you call that? Goofy time?
Crack of
Funny
doom.
time?
It's the crack of doom.
The crack of doom. There you go. Good, good, good. So real quick, if you don't mind, while we're waiting for Daz to come in, could you just real quick go ahead and give a brief of what your channel's about? And that way everybody gets a reminder.
My channel is all sorts of stuff about self-reliance on a budget for people with extreme budgets. So I do everything old school, traditional ways that doesn't require a lot of equipment or expensive stuff.
Got it.
Yeah. And remake, reuse, recycle, to make basically waste not, want not, as far as anything's concerned, you know. So if I'm making something, I look at what other products I can make from what I have and things like that, which is where I ended up with 5 different mango peel videos.
Isn't it funny how we do that? Somebody asked me the other day, how many of these do you have video-wise? And I went back and looked. I was like, why in the world do I have 3 videos on that? That makes absolutely no sense. So you'll notice in my playlist, I've unlisted a few things just because I was like, why did I do that? I have no idea.
Yeah, but if it helps one person,
valid point.
You know, to me, it's worth it. So
yes, yeah. I agree 100% with you on that. So, The other thing I have the problem with too, though, is I haven't quite got to that point, but I'm sure you're different than me because I know you have more videos than I do. When I start getting to that, if I don't put them in a playlist, I'm going to lose myself because I will be lost as to what it was about, where does it go, that kind of stuff. So
yeah. Oh, I hear.
good. So we're still waiting on Dad, so I'm going to go ahead and move a little forward with you,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
Oh, crack on.
You touched on process. Oh, he just showed up. Let's go ahead and bring him in.
Yay.
Hold that thought because I will come back to that.
Okay.
Are you ready, Daz? Okay, we'll try this again.
G'day, everybody. Oh, wow, that's a bit
I
close.
hear you.
Surprise.
Okay, let me try to fix your picture for you.
Oh, sorry about that.
And I think, is that better? There you go.
Awesome.
We don't want to scare the little children, right?
Yeah, I know, right? Nobody's getting to sleep tonight now after that one.
Everybody do. I'm going to apologize for Blue. She's getting over, I'm using the term I heard tonight. She's getting over cinnamon and vanilla. And so she'll cough occasionally. So just so everybody knows that.
I'm sorry.
Excuse me. And I do it anyway. So
as we say here in Australia, as we say here in Australia, which means something totally different in the USA, Blue's a little crook.
Yeah.
Okay. So now for those of us that are not over there in Australia, could you please define what a crook is?
So to say that someone is crook means sick. So I feel a little crook. I'm a bit crook today, but I just had to throw it in because I knew it was going to mean something else to most people watching.
It was actually really nice to hear it, to be honest, because I don't hear a lot of the Aussie anachronisms unless they come from Daz. Yep. Or from my Aussie friends and family, so it's actually kind of nice to hear it.
I want to say I'm graciously appreciative to the both of you because you're the two I talk to from other countries as far as in a face-to-face kind of thing, and my language learning is from you two. So thank you.
Oh, I can have some fun with it. Oh, we both can have some fun.
Okay, let's be nice now. Yeah. Blue has said a couple things that I'm like, sorry, what was that? It's good. I like it. Just want to jump in here and say hi to everybody from the chat. My style is if I see it, I'll mention it. I'll bring it up. I really want to get the conversation part of this. If we get to a point where maybe the conversation's scaling out, we'll go to the comments, and then not to imply that if I go to the comments, it's scaling out. But if it does, then it gives us that option. Oh, man. I got to tell you something, though, guys. I love this late night live. I love it.
Good.
I hope you guys like it as well, and the people that come in enjoy this as well.
Yeah, well, as I said last week, it's great for me because it's the middle of the day here. It's
right
2:15 Saturday afternoon for me. So works for me.
Yeah, I'm still late night Friday, so you guys are already into the next day.
Yes, it's like 5:30-ish a.m.
Yep,
here. So Danny's gone to work, and this is my time for chilling and waking up. So it's actually really nice to wake up with you guys and
love it.
Have a hangout first thing in the morning. It's great fun.
Yeah, indeed.
I love it. Yeah. I love it, to the point that I get to, you guys are two of my favorite people, and I love talking with you guys. I love learning about what you guys deal with. That's totally separate from what we get over here. I think the experience is worthy because I'm learning something. And I'm a firm believer, if I learn something every day, it's been a great day. So I love that. So
yeah.
Okay, so where I was gonna go is I feel like we didn't get to finish our conversations, me specifically with Blue. Daz, I really didn't dive in with you because you came in for a different reason, and then we evolved in the conversation. So I really want to be able to come back and let you tell my viewers who Daz is, what your channel's about. But we'll come back to that because I started with Blue with a question, so I'd like her a chance to answer it.
Yeah.
One thing you guys will learn about me, I bounce all over the place, so bear with it, please. So, Blue, you said in the last week's conversation that you had started this program, and you're wanting to move it into a like a virtual program, more or less. Okay.
Yeah.
Not specific. No, hold on a second, sweetie. Not specific to the program, but to you. Where is the challenge you have in doing something like that? Because that's not a small undertaking.
No.
And so I'm just curious to know, is that really a challenging thing, or is it just a matter of you having the time to sit down and do what you need to do?
It's a bit of both.
Okay.
Like I said last week that I wrote this program it was a life skills program that was meant to be a 5-year course for teen parents for the first 5 years that they have their child. And the way that it was written to start off with was so that they had a mentor for that 5 years as well, that stayed with them the whole 5 years. The reason being, when I first wrote it, there were two reasons. One, where I was living at the time, I was asked by the family support centre to teach a 16-year-old how to cook because she was blending Big Macs for her baby and living on 2-minute noodles and Vegemite toast.
Literally, we're not going back to that. I'm moving past that because that devastated me when I was just
explaining for those who don't
I get it. I'm just I seen the video again of what we talked about last week, and I couldn't believe the look on my face when you said that. I was like, really, you did that on live? And I was like, that's how astonished by it I was. So anyway, sorry, go ahead.
So it turned into like 12 massive arch lever folders that expanded and kept expanding and kept expanding. Because obviously there's new stuff that I learn all the time. There's stuff that I don't know and that I learn, and then that gets put into it. So for me now, 20 years on, I feel that I need to put it in a format that everyone can see, that everyone has access to, and that can reach a much wider range of people. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, basically. But yeah, it is something that's going to take several years to do. It's not something that I can just whip out, because obviously I don't have a massive team of people that I can rely on to do it. It's just me at this point. And yeah, it's just been it is a labor of love. It is a labor of love, but if it can help one person, then to me it's worth it.
And I agree.
Yeah,
looks like Dad does too as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So okay, so we answered that question, but I do want to hop back down to Daz. So last week I don't think I really gave you a chance. Can you tell us who Daz is real quick and what your channel's about, that kind of thing?
Okay, well, I'm obviously an Aussie. In case you hadn't noticed by the accent, mate. Yeah, well, I'm a long retired chef. I'm talking about a couple of decades now since I completely stopped. But it's still there. I still think of myself, I guess, in my head, skill set wise, as more of a chef than anything, I guess. You don't forget things or unlearn things like that. Especially if you've done an apprenticeship. Apprenticeships can be pretty harsh. Chefs are pretty mean people and under pressure, and things get drummed into you when you're young and impressionable at 15, 16, 17 years old, which later on is a benefit to you because you've got those skills that I use now. So anyway, so my channel is cooking and gardening, and I originally started the channel. It was originally My Aussie Garden. There was no and kitchen, because the plan was um, to get onto YouTube and try and tell people out there with mental health issues of all kinds that, you know what, I've discovered that myself being, I probably didn't explain, but myself, I've got severe mental health issues from trauma, PTSD and agoraphobia, and haven't left my house for 3 years and all that sort of stuff. So I wanted to make this YouTube channel to say, you know what, everyone, I can get out into my garden and I can forget all the crazy things going on in my head, and I can plant things and grow things, and you get that the satisfaction of seeing things grow and harvesting and eating them. And I went from a routine of having nightmares, waking up and feeling terrible about the nightmares, falling into a recliner chair, either playing video games or watching TV all day, not seeing my family, getting up out of the chair, maybe having some food, going to bed, and doing that routine over and over and over. That was my life. It was, and trying until I had to stop work, trying to fit work in there as well. It was terrible. But yeah, once I realized, you know what, get out into the yard. It's not that hard. In the privacy of my own backyard, things can change slowly for the better. And I wanted to spread that message. So then, obviously, because I grow so much stuff and I'm a trained chef, I'm cooking these things. So why not show people, you know, cook this, cook that, whatever. And so, yeah, that's where it's gone. I hope that wasn't a really long-winded answer, but that's pretty much me in a nutshell, I guess, at the moment.
I think it's important for people to understand, you know, what your channel's about, and if that's part of what makes it, then it's important. So
yeah. Well, I'm trying to take advantage, because thankfully, because of so many people out there, I've grown a quite a, you know, a nice subscriber base, and I have a bit of reach out there now. So I'm trying to take advantage of my presence on YouTube to make mental health more aware to everyone, and more importantly, let people know that they're not alone and there's help out there. And like, for instance, last week I had a live stream with guests, and that's all we talked about. It was a dedicated mental health live stream, and I'm not ashamed of that, and I'm proud of it. And yes, I should be sticking to cooking and gardening for the algorithm and everything, but you know what? If I've got an opportunity to spread the word and let someone know that they're not alone and they can get help, I'll take it, because, as I said, myself being a sufferer of these things, it's a terrible spot to be in. And I wish I had someone back when I was at my worst, sort of inspiring me to get out of the chair and to do things and stuff like that, and not stay in that cycle. So, yeah.
I keep forgetting I'm miking myself with the music in the background. Sorry.
No,
I
right.
think two things is I number one, I applaud you for that that conversation you had. I think it was very important. I think the information was very spot on. I think you gave. I love the thought that you didn't just give Australia crisis lines. You gave U.S. You gave. I mean, you went down the line, and I thought that was wonderful. And I thought it was important, and you did it, and so I thought that was cool. I think part of, you know, from like your standpoint, as well as the other guests you have on, and other people I know that have the issues that all of them have, I think it's important for people to realize that we never really truly know what is somebody else's situation. And I think it's important for us to take a step back to say, you know, even though I'm having an issue with this person right here, right now, it's important for me to consider what is going on in their everyday life that really didn't have anything to do with this specific conversation, but it has a tendency to bleed over, because that's a reality. So I applaud you for it. Second of all, I think it was wonderful the way you did it. because it was centered. You kept on making the same point, and I might be stealing the line from you, but you were keeping it focused and centered on the conversation, and it wasn't about the chat. And I really think it's important that when we, I'm choosing my words here carefully, so bear with me on this. And I think there's only one way to say it. I think it's important that when a YouTube channel has a platform and gets the balls to get out there and put something on there that really needs to be discussed, YouTube needs to back off and say, you know what, it is a discussion that is important. Not that they're going to, but I think as content creators and channel hosts, we almost have an obligation, if we can, to do that. Now, that's not to say everyone's responsible to, because I know there's some channels that probably can't have the same conversation you did, just because they can't get to that point. But I think when we have the opportunity, I think it's wonderful that we can, because you shed light on it. You might give somebody a resource they don't have. And the other thing I loved was the key you honed in on of you're not alone. Don't ever think you're alone in this. So go ahead. Sorry, I keep talking.
No, I was just agreeing with what you were saying. Yeah, exactly. And that's one point I really tried to push hard during the whole conversation was you're not alone. Because wow, I've had so many people contact me via email, Instagram, just people contacting me in private. And there's people out there with channels that some of us would know and stuff like that. And as well as people that I've not even noticed in my comments before messaging me saying, I don't know, like, for example, one person said, I just want to thank you for the conversation you had last week in regards to whatever the topic was I mentioned in mental health, because that's the position they're in. And they've been in a position where they don't have a partner, they live by themselves and they have nobody to talk to. And they were sort of thinking, oh, is it just me? What's going on here? But they wanted to YouTube to actually look at some gardening, and this guy started talking about this stuff, and it actually helped them. And they said they were going to the doctor, and congratulations. I said, good on you. I hope you do. A week later, I get a message back saying, hey, I went to the doctor and I'm going to see a person about this, and this, and you beauty. And 6 months later, 6 months later, I got a message again saying, you know what? I'm on top of the world and I've got a whole bunch of grow bags out in my little courtyard and I'm growing, I don't know, lettuce and carrots and stuff like that. And thanks. So it's good. It's really good to know that we can make a difference in the positions that we're here.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think Blue pointed that out. If we can help one person, sometimes that's all it takes, and it makes all of this worth it to some degree. Now, that's not just with mental health. That's not just with canning. That's not with just gardening. There's a multitude of different things that's faceted around. And I think, I almost feel like we, to some degree, have an obligation. That's really what I'm saying. So
I agree.
So
yeah.
So then, okay, so Blue, on to you. What is it that you find the most challenging as a content creator for YouTube channels out there that may be lurking about the possibility of going into this? What is something you can offer out that is a challenge, but you can offer maybe a little tip about? And give me just a second. I have to check something real quick. So go ahead and talk. I'm still listening, but I have to do something. Thank you.
I want to give a serious answer, but the first thing that comes up is getting Tanny to keep his pants on in the house while I'm filming.
Huh? Well, then what am I doing?
That is a good tip, though.
Huh?
I've been desperately trying to get this my jamming up June video done.
675-9299. That's
coming in going, I did this. I was like, that's nice, dear. Pat on the head. See you, bye. I'm filming. I think not worrying about what other people think or what they do. I think for me, the biggest thing is do it your way. It doesn't matter what your way is.
Yep.
And do what you love, what you know.
I agree.
If it's your journey, it's your journey. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, you know, if one channel does it this way or another channel does it another way or another channel does it another way. You know, sure, learn from them.
Right.
Have a look at what works for you and how you enjoy interpreting your journey as it goes. You know, and if that's 2 or 3 or 4 different ways of doing it, then do 2 or 3 or 4 different ways of doing it.
Right.
It's entirely your channel, your journey, and your message. So just do you.
Right.
Don't worry about all the fancy equipment and stuff like that. Probably 90% of my videos are done on my phone.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, me
I
too.
just edit them on the PC, but probably 90% of them are done on the phone. So, you know, just £5 tripod I've got.
Yeah.
Well, you got yours cheaper than I did, so I mean, I think that's wonderful. So,
and that's it. So, don't ever feel like you can't do it because you don't have this and you don't have that and you don't have something else. You know, we're not all professional photographers. I mean, some of us might be, you know, semi-professional, you know, but even so, I mean, Dad's just said, I use my phone, you know.
I think that is, I'm sorry, I think that is the loveliest vision I see. With Daz looking up in the sky, trying to figure out. That cracks me up. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
In front of one of my photos behind me, I don't know what you're talking about. No.
You know, I mean, there are some very cinematic channels out there that are stunningly beautiful with a gorgeous message. And I think, you know, my favorite at the moment, and I have to admit, it is an Aussie channel. He blew up within 2 videos.
Wow.
I know who you're going to say.
The Weedy Garden.
The Weedy Garden.
The Weedy Garden. But he is a professional photographer. He's a professional filmmaker. And you can tell. You know that he is.
We have one that
his journey is brilliant. Sorry.
I hate this because I'm interacting and I'm a conversationalist. So one of my struggles is waiting till Blue's done talking before I start because another idea pops in my head and I just go. So I apologize. Anyway,
it's all good.
We have in the canning collaboration that I'm doing this month, becoming a farm girl. And that's Cassandra, and I don't believe she's a professional photographer, but what I love about her videos, watch it one time. You have no question that lady is there to get the viewer into what she's talking about, stay into what she's talking about, and leave going, did I just watch a movie? Because that's what it felt like. She knows how to lay it out there. She knows how to put it together. She knows how to edit it the right way. And the difference between her video and my video is like, there is a huge difference. And I am at awe just watching her videos because they're that good.
Yeah, you know? Absolutely.
What about you, Daz?
Well, I only discovered her recently through Leanne, Mennonite Farmhouse. Leanne said to me, you need to check this lady out. And I played one of her videos and the jaw just dropped. I was like, are you serious? And she's only new to it. Like, she's only a recent channel. She hasn't been around years or anything. But yeah, exactly everything that Blue said, totally agree with. And for anyone that didn't see me say it last week, I have this fancy background and microphone and stuff like this, but I used to be a semi-pro photographer, so I've got the tripods and I have a basic knowledge of the rule of thirds and lighting and all those sorts of things. And I used to stream on Twitch as well. I used to play video games on Twitch and hang out with people. And
I get the feeling that I get the feeling that every time you guys talk about Twitch, you kind of go like, "And I used to be over on Twitch." I mean, that's kind of what I feel like.
Yeah, it kind of feels a bit that way sometimes.
Oh, okay,
exactly.
sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Dad. Sorry.
Yeah. So I had all the equipment, so I obviously brought that into what I'm doing now. I'd be silly not to. But as we've said beforehand, you don't need all the fancy equipment. You don't need green screens and stuff like that. My room is an absolute mess, so I'd rather show you one of my photos rather than my room behind me.
But see, it's funny you say that, and I got to bring this point up because I know in many conversations I've had with other people, and primarily Leanne is one of them. She always complains about this mess I got back here. Okay, but to cover that up, I get why people do that. And again, this is nothing against you or Blue or any other channel. They got to do what they got to do. I get that. I will never fault anybody for that choice they make. Now, do I like the content? That's a whole different conversation I'll have with you. Okay. But I get the multiple reasons why you would want to do that. Daz, you bring up a good one. Some of us just have messy houses and we don't want everybody to see them. I mean, there's a realism to that. You know, some people are very private and don't want anybody to see anything that could remotely pinpoint where they're at, where they live, what time of day it is, things like that. So I get that. But it is a struggle sometimes when you have a smaller channel looking at, they're saying, I don't have I don't even know what they cost, $1,500, $2,000, $500. You know, most of us, if we're struggling at $40, we're all in the same boat, right? I mean, that's usually where it's at. But I think you both make a very valid point. You don't have to have the big money, the big equipment to get the same effect of being sincere, caring, understanding, and willing to help people. I mean, that's what the important part is.
Be yourself and be genuine. Honestly, Tony, I'm not going to look at your background and go, oh man, I'm not watching his channel because of something like a box in the background. I'm watching your channel because of what you've just canned or what you've just done. It's just, that's why I'm watching. This is mainly, it's like, why do you brush your hair or make sure that your hair is in the right spot before you go on the camera? Because you're self-conscious, and that's a bit of what this behind me is, that I'm self-conscious of all the junk behind me.
Hey, I just woke up. I don't even know where my hairbrush is right now.
Here you go. I've got one on hand.
I think I've got a couple, but you know, it's too early.
I don't know, Tony. Do you know that you're muted, Tony?
Yeah, I do. I was, my battery or my phone was dying and I was trying to put the cord in, and I love technology until it doesn't work the way I want it to.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like before when I couldn't talk on the microphone, I just speaking of technology, like you now look, you don't have to do it, but I've gone and bought a wireless microphone setup.
Yeah.
And what happened was, when I installed this just the other day, the software for this took over from this microphone.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's why I couldn't speak, is because it was trying to go through the other software.
Got it.
But yeah, look, all this stuff here, you don't need to be having wireless microphones and stuff.
No.
I've got the microphone that I've been using up until I got that cordless stuff was a $17 wired microphone from Amazon, some no-name brand, and the audio quality is fantastic. And I would definitely recommend people go down that avenue first. Don't jump in spending money on pro stuff or higher end stuff, because you just don't need to for quite a while, really.
Yeah. I mean, I have to admit that I now do have cameras and mics and stuff like that, but I've also still learning how to use them, and most of the stuff that I got is all secondhand. You know, I haven't gone out and for the cost of everything that's in my camera bag at the moment is probably the cost of one of those cameras brand new.
Yeah.
So, you know, and most of it I got for Christmas and birthday because, you know, I put it, I said to Santa, listen here, you and I are going to have a conversation.
And on the flip side, I use 3 different phones. I have 1 microphone and I use a laptop. That's all I have. So,
Yeah.
I mean, but at the same time, looking at the way my videos look and the way Blue's videos look and the way Daz's videos look, they're different videos, but really it doesn't matter if the content's good where those videos are at. Because you can have, and again, I'm just picking on you, Daz, so take it that way, okay? You can have the background Daz have and have crappy content and have the worst video in the world. You can have the background I have and have the best content, and I just blew you out of the water. No pun intended.
Absolutely.
But that's my point. I mean, and it really goes to what you guys are saying. You don't have to have the expensive stuff to get across good content because it's the content that matters, really.
Yeah.
Most definitely. For brand new channels, I think if very quickly, I would say be yourself. Don't try, as Blue said, don't try and copy other people or be like other people or watch other people and be conscious of what they're doing. Be yourself and try to give quality. You're not going to master editing and stuff like that for a while, but just try to be conscious of maybe, you know, when you zoom in to look at, I don't know, some lettuce or something like that. That's fun. But just be conscious of when you're zooming in on the lettuce or something like that. Try not to have like a dog poop or something right there in the screenshot. It's just, you know what I mean? Just common sense things. Just that's all it takes. Don't worry about all the fading in and fading out and all that sort of stuff. That comes later. But just be genuine and just try. Just don't wave the phone around like crazy. Sort of.
No.
I guess I don't want to go on too much, but maybe just try to think of how you would like to see the video if someone else did it that you would like, if that makes sense.
And I think the other thing that goes along with that though too is, and I was over on Lisa's live tonight before I got interrupted, but the conversation that I do remember about that stuck in my head was about being genuine. Be yourself. I mean, I know you guys have said that, but I really want to emphasize that. Don't try to be another channel. It doesn't sell well. People won't pick up on it if you're trying to be such and such and such and such and such and such.
Yeah.
If you're Blue and you're Daz and I'm Tony, and that's who I expect every time I come back, that's what I'm buying into. So,
well, just this week, I've just put out a video, and I'm not trying to plug myself here, but I just put out a video.
You can do that. That's okay.
Oh no, but I did a Pepsi challenge. I got a home taste test kit from Pepsi, and for anyone that hasn't seen it, it was a blind taste test where there was 2 products in a can in a box, and I had absolutely no idea what they were, and I was assuming one was Pepsi Max because that was the branding on the box, and Pepsi sent me the box. So of course I had an idea that Pepsi, I guess, would be in one of the cans.
Right.
But when I tasted them, I honestly could not tell you if it was Coke, whether it was Pepsi, whether it was Coke Classic or no sugar Coke, whatever. And in the end, it ended up being Classic Coke as the one that I preferred in the box.
Right.
Now, to make myself look good to Pepsi, I could have reshot that and gone, knowing the answer. Oh, yeah, Pepsi Max. Pepsi Max is the one to go. I approve of Pepsi Max. Everyone should buy Pepsi. Because they sent it to me. But that's not me. You've got to be authentic. And I just said, look, straight up, I preferred Coke. Made a joke about it. And that's went on the video. And unfortunately, you know, if Pepsi aren't that happy that I've gone along and said Coke was better than their product that they sent me, I'm sorry, but I'm just being honest, and I'd rather be honest and have people know that I'm genuine than trying to appease, you know, a company.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's what to me. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Blue.
No.
I was just gonna say that's what sold me on it. I mean, you didn't fall into the Pepsi is the one. I mean, you went.
Mm.
I know you didn't set it up to say Coke is the one, but
Yeah.
the honesty of the test was there in our face. We seen it. I mean, I got it. I bought into it.
And just to be totally transparent, I actually do have Pepsi here. So out of
Right.
the two brands, I actually
She's
do.
dying. She's dying. That's funny.
So out of the brands, I actually quite honestly do drink Pepsi Max here in my house.
Right.
So I could have gone down the whole thing where I, stuck to them and
Right.
was really nice. But the truth was, I preferred the taste of Coke. So
I
that's what
get
it
it.
was.
I
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question, and we'll start with Daz this time. Okay, what is the I know how to ask this, but I don't want you to think I'm pushing on it because you may have a special reason for it. So if you don't want to answer, and it's the same thing with Blue, so I'm going to ask you the same thing. I know we've already discussed it, but I just want to, for those that didn't catch it before. Why did you name your name My Aussie Garden and Kitchen? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I guess the first thing I had to do was there's so many channels out there. In the case of, say, as I said earlier, it was only going to be a gardening channel because I
Right.
wanted people to know that they could get out there and feel happy and find the joy in gardening. But I wanted to have the Aussie or Australia name in there just to make it clear that when people are looking at so many videos to choose from, that's an Australian point of view. So whether it be an Australian wanting some local knowledge or whether it's someone overseas thinking, oh, I wouldn't mind seeing how they do it over there.
Right.
So that's where the Aussie came in, because typing Aussie on screen is a bit shorter than Australian.
Right.
And then obviously the garden was because of the gardening. But
Got
then
that.
I'd soon realized that after I'd started my channel, you know what? I'm cooking quite a bit. Why don't I start recording some of that? So I tacked on and kitchen on the end. And I guess it's a bit of a long title, which I'd like to shorten, but looking at it on screen now, my Aussie is saying where I am. Gardening kitchen is going to pretty much tell you exactly what my channel does.
Right. Was the in kitchen something you added after you went with My Aussie Garden as far as publicly? Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it would have been maybe a couple of months where I'd realized that, wow, look, I honestly did not think people were going to watch. And
Right.
honestly, it was a joke with my kids, and I was making jokes to the kids about the kids would come in and say, hey, Dad, you're up to 17 subscribers. And I was like, are you serious? Like, I was surprised. And we were having jokes 20, 25, 30. And for the life of me, I never imagined being monetized or having this many friends now. And if I'd known that back then, I would have done the channel a bit differently, because I never had a long-term plan. There was never, how could I put it? Things change when it comes to monetization and everything like that.
Right.
You really have to start paying attention to the analytics and numbers in the background and stuff like that to maintain that. And that was not a consideration at the start, because I'm never going to get that far. So many people just don't make it that far. So I didn't structure my channel and my videos in the best way for that, if that makes sense.
It does. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
What about you, Blue? Your name, the reason for your name.
It started off as Blue's Food. I've always been Blue. I've always been the Blue Pixie. It's been my work name for nearly 20 years. Because I'm an artist as well, and I make costuming, and so the Blue Pixie Studios is actually my work, my artwork, and all of the stuff that I do with that. So I kind of wanted it to be like it was to do with my food and just sort of me growing it and then cooking it kind of thing, and that's all it was going to be. And then I was sitting around thinking about it about a year later and thinking, oh no, maybe it should just be the Blue Pixie, because now I don't feel like I can do like the DIY stuff or the making of things and all of that kind of stuff. And, you know, showing what happens when we have to fix the dryer and the washing machine, like what happened over Christmas. And, you know, so that became that. And then it was like, well, if it's just the Blue Pixie, it doesn't really explain what I'm doing. And I had some people coming over going, yeah, but aren't you an artist? Isn't that what you do? This is weird. And it was like, okay. So then I chose Blue Self-Reliance because it covers everything to do with self-reliance. It doesn't matter if one week I'm going to teach you different light bulbs and what they are and, you know, their uses and you know, whether they're a bayonet fit or a screw fit or they're an Edison light bulb or whatever the hell else they're called, you know.
Yeah.
From making jams to, you know, pickling eggs or, you know, growing some beetroot out in the backyard or whatever, it's covered. And I felt like Blue Self-Reliance was the way that I wanted to go with that. It just felt like a better fit, I think. Yeah. So it won't be being changed again.
Nothing wrong with that, right? So on that question then, and I'll piggyback you with this one, is what niche or group do you find yourself fitting in the most? And do you feel like you're singled in that niche or you expand out of that?
Who, me?
You first, yes.
I don't know. I don't know. It's not really something that I've paid a lot of attention to. And I know Daz talks a lot about analytics and stuff and things like that. I look at them and it just goes straight over the top of my head. And I'm just like, okay, meow, you know. And I just do what I do, how I do it, and what have you. And I guess for me, it was more of a, if I make the videos, the people who need to see them will come, and whether they're from this niche or that niche, it doesn't matter. I didn't want to be in a niche, so to speak, because I'm not just gardening. So I've got people who come over for the gardening, but I'm not just doing the gardening. I've got people who come and watch the cooking videos, but I don't just cook, you know. And so whether they watch the other videos or not is up to them, and I leave that up to them. The only niche that I will say is that because I don't use a lot of fancy equipment, I mean, yes, I have the dehydrator. You can't get much more fancier than that. But
well, if it comes from Lamborghini or Maserati, you could.
I know.
Sorry, go ahead.
She's a beast. I'm not gonna lie, but I've also waited 30 years for that.
Right.
So, you know, it's not something that I just went, oh look, I got a spare $300. I'm gonna go and buy myself a dehydrator. It's not that. You know, it wasn't. It was this was way down on the list of things that we wanted to get, and you know, but it was also something that was on the list as well, because we've got a list of things that slowly, but I think it was just about reaching the everyday person where they are right now. Yeah, whether they've got a $5 to feed their family for the week or whether they've got $500 to feed their family for the week. It was reaching people where they are right now, right, and not making them feel bad about it. You know, I think that's. I don't think there's an actual niche need.
What about you, Daz? What do you feel as far as your channel? How do you feel about it?
I guess ideally, I think the best way to go, if you're going to be chasing the long game with YouTube and you're looking at making money on it and stuff like that, you need to focus on, say, the one genre, the one idea that everyone knows you for, and YouTube's repeatedly sharing that out to people interested in just that topic. But you know what? I do cooking and gardening, so I guess ideally I could be like cooking or gardening if I really wanted to chase numbers like that. But I like both, so I incorporate both. So I guess that covers homesteaders and home gardeners who like to cook their own produce as well. But at the same time, I like to talk about mental health as well and try and help people. And I don't know. I've done videos where I'm so lucky I've got Australian native birds that come and land just outside my window here. And I've got videos of them where I've got a camera this far from them feeding, and that's not great for the analytics because it's sending, the message that, hang on a minute, this channel's got something that's not cooking or gardening. But that's me. That's what I want to share. It's my home and my yard. And so, yeah, I think Blue said it nicely about whoever comes, and enjoys it. It's, but definitely, as we were saying earlier about how people starting off and everything, I think it's important that if people are going to start off and they want to look at the long game, is that they focus on a particular audience and topic and try and stick to that. I think that's probably advice people should probably have at the start rather than just having a whole random bunch of stuff. Sorry,
I think that's no, you're fine, because I mean it really hits onto where I was really directing my thought process, and that is, and I think you make it, because when you're starting off, you almost have to have a place to start at, theoretically, okay? But very quickly I learned that I'm not limited by just that. I mean, very quickly I learned that the end result of what I was trying to do landed in somebody else's plate, if that makes any sense. And so I was just curious as to whether you guys, being at a different number level than I was when I met you guys and where you're at now, would you say that was an issue? But it doesn't sound like it was. It sounds like Blue's like, it is what it is, and either you're going to come follow me or you're not. Yeah. Daz, you feel like you already fit into that, so it's not. Now it doesn't mean you don't trickle over, but you kind of are. You're playing the analytical game, and I get that. I mean, I understand that. So trying to figure out where the hard part with YouTube, and I've said this before, I have a love-hate relationship with YouTube.
Yep.
I love the platform it provides, but I hate the game you gotta play to get there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And that's a constant, ever-changing, ever-evolving, unknowledgeable to any single individual. I'm not even sure AI knows what it's talking about, okay? There are so many levels to YouTube and how the analytics are played out that I honestly, and I am not joking you when I say this, I feel there is not one individual in this world that knows how to play the analytical game with YouTube and win it. I'm being honest.
No,
the
I just
crappy
think
part is nobody should have to deal with it like that.
No.
It should be a clear cut. Here's what you got to do. This is how we do it. And here's what you need to do to fix whatever you got going on. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say that you definitely need to get yourself out there and be seen and everything, but you've got to be careful not to fall into the trap of going around and saying, hi, how are you? And attracting a bunch of people with other channels, because in the long game, it can hurt you, because those people come over and make a comment on your video to say, hello, I was here, basically letting you know that they've seen your video, but they secretly take off straight away. And when they do that, YouTube looks at that analytic and they just see, they're not worried about that person in the comment. They just see a viewer's come onto your video and only watch 5 seconds of it out of, say, a 7-minute video, and YouTube's going, okay, video not very interesting, tick,
Right.
and then it moves on to the next person. Hi, so-and-so from so-and-so Homestead or whatever here. Great video. YouTube doesn't care. Oh, look, another person to watch for 10 seconds out of 7 minutes.
Right.
Not a very interesting video. Tick. We're not going to share that on to more people because it's not an interesting video.
Right.
So, yeah, people getting... I'm not using the phrase because I don't want to use that word, but the friend for friend type situation, you've got to be very careful.
Right.
Because if you're in it for the long game, it'll hurt you.
Right.
Yeah.
Anything else to add to that, Blue? Sorry.
Yeah, it's also rude.
Yeah, it is.
I find it really rude. Especially when you're doing like a live chat or something like that, and people come in and start advertising their channels. My mods don't really know about the whole sharing links thing, but they will if I ask them to.
Right.
So, you know, if there's someone in there that I don't mind sharing their link, I will do that. But at the end of the day, my lives aren't about sharing other people's channels unless they're in the live with me. You know,
that makes sense, actually. Yes.
It's great, and I watch other people's lives and I think, oh wow, okay, you know, and there's these wonderful mods who are out there and they are literally sharing the whole time through chat, which is great. And it is wonderful, and it makes you feel wanted and appreciated. I'm not going to lie, it does. But at the end of the day as well, there aren't many of them that I will actually click on to go and follow, because I won't randomly pick channels to go and watch just because someone told me to go and watch them. I'll go and watch them first. And if I do watch your video, I will leave a full comment, because I want you to know that I was there and I was watching.
You're making it worthwhile to the person you're going to check out. Yeah.
And I'll watch the whole thing because if I'm interested, that's what I'll do.
Yeah. See, I play it a little different in the sense that, and I totally and fully understand what you're saying because it makes sense to me. Like in mine tonight, I kind of, even though it's not ever been established, Jesse drops the links.
Yeah.
Daz, if he's in here, is the hello, how are you guy. I mean, that's the way it's worked out. And I'm sure you would be the same way in that as well, Blue, because that's the style you guys have. In reference to Jesse specifically, I don't have a problem that Jesse drops the links, and I don't. Sorry, I got a big old mosquito trying to bite the camera. Not that it matters, but I don't want him coming at me. Anyway, I don't mind that as much because, or let me go back to what I was saying. I don't mind if you have a moderator, and Jesse's really good about it, dropping the links to the channels. Like he has been dropping my collaboration all over the place, and I love him for it because that's additional advertisement for that I appreciate. But that's not taking away from what he's doing, because I think if I'm new to the channel and Jesse put up apple tree or Annette's apple tree urban homestead, and I've not been to her channel, that gives me the quick link. The benefit of it, the drawback to it is what you're saying though, is that you get people. I'm gonna say, because it's something that has bothered me since I've been in my short journey of growing. When I first started, Leanne led me over to Stephen Casey's Mr. Boots and Bounty. Yep. I know it's Boots and Bounty, but led me to Stephen's Mr. Boots and Bounty because I had tons of questions about YouTube. So I go over there and watch. And then I was like, okay, that's one way of looking at it. And she said, well, there's also tuber chat.
Yes.
You know what okay. I think that's what it's called, is tuber chat.
Yeah.
So Kevin, I went over there. Yes. Now everybody has talked him up. I'm not talking him down. I just didn't like the style the night I landed on the channel. Yeah. I sat there for 20 minutes before I could even comment in the live chat, because he had it blocked out for 20 minutes. And I found that very offensive.
Yep.
By the time I'm allowed to get into the conversation's already moved on.
Yeah.
And so now my input into that conversation is no longer valid.
Yeah.
Okay. So I backed away from it, didn't think too much of it. I kind of blew it off. Okay, that's not something for me. I went back over to Stevens and I'm faithful. I mean, that guy has taught me more things than I can count right now. Okay. But I also see Kevin popping in. Hi, guys. This is Kevin. Nice to see you. They'll drop their names real quick and then boom, he's gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is that really benefiting a channel? Because of what Daz just said. YouTube's like 10 seconds out of Steven can be on there 3 hours sometimes.
Yeah.
So 10 to 30 seconds out of a 3-hour live, that's an unacceptable part of the analytics, and they move on to the next one. So my point I'm trying to get to is exactly what Daz is saying, except I do see a benefit of dropping channels if it's not just to drop the channels and advertise for a friend or somebody else or whatever it is. I'm lucky being a small channel that I picked up very good mods that are very on top of it and seem to be interested in me, or they wouldn't still be here. That's the way I look at it. So,
well, I'm all for sharing channels when I'm going to start getting back to it actually. But when I started doing my live streams, I would have segments, and one segment I would have was channels of the week, and I would have, say, 5 people, and I would bring up each of their channels on a web page and share the screen and tell people about the channel and share the channel and stuff like that. And I'm fully for everybody connecting, but I would always make sure that I would say, if you like the channel, please subscribe to it and watch videos. But if it's not something that you're going to watch, don't subscribe. And I had a couple of people message me in private and say, why would you say that? And that's exactly what I said earlier, because you don't want people like, there's a young person at the moment that's got a newish channel that's they've recently gone from about 100 friends to about 500. But that person, if you go to their video is full of comments like stay connected and like number 87, like number 27, like number 53, a million emojis. And
okay.
Yeah, it's not meaningful. People aren't watching the videos. It's people that are all trying to get around to be seen, and it doesn't help. And what grinds my gears is if I put up a video and say the video is 12 minutes long, 2 minutes after uploading it, you've already got 10 people saying, wow, that was awesome, good job. How could it be awesome and a good job 2 minutes after uploading if it's a 12-minute video? Are you telling me you watch 12 minutes in 2 minutes? I don't think so.
Which I do get what you're saying, but I know I'm reactive. So if I'm sitting there watching a video and it's well put together, the content's interesting, the person's not boring the crap out of me, because that does happen, I'll be honest.
Oh, for sure.
I could see 2 minutes in saying this is an awesome video. The unfortunate part for the analytical person or analytics is that it doesn't work for you. That's the problem. And it's unfair to the channel because of that, to me. Not that this is ever going to change anybody. I get that. It's just one of my gripes about it, you know?
Yeah.
But you make a valid point. You're already getting a comment 2 minutes into it. What about the other 8 minutes or 10 minutes? Does that mean the rest of it wasn't good?
That's it.
Look, we all skim. Like, I'll skim through a video. I'll tell you straight up. I mean, most videos I watch are people that I want to watch, so I will watch the video. But there's occasions where you will skim through a bit or whatever. That's fine. But generally, I find that you get those types of things happening from those people that want to be noticed. It's not like, say, good friends of mine, I don't see them doing that within 2 minutes and stuff. I'm confident they've watched the actual video.
Right. And I think the other thing that goes with it too, because Karen makes a good point with her comment, that her biggest pet peeve is you know they didn't really watch it, which goes with what Daz is saying, but it made me think of something. I remember there's a channel. I'm not going to say the channel's name, but you'll understand the situation because I'm sure it's applied to all of us at some point in time, at least as content creators. So I went in and watched the video, and this person said, I think it's rude that you don't watch my video. If you don't want to watch my video, then please unsubscribe from me. And I thought two things. I thought, number one, that's pretty bold.
Mm.
I would be shocked if you have any subscribers come morning now. The second thing is there are times when you watch content and the content literally is boring.
Yeah.
If it's a 30-minute video, I'm not going to sit and watch it if I'm 2 minutes in and I'm going like, somebody give me a spork, please. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
You get my point though, right? So I think
in the eyelids, Tony, they help.
Yeah. Well, okay, they help, except that doesn't help what I was going to do with the sport, but that's beside the point. My point is that sometimes it's unfair to the user to expect them to tag along for something that is just crappy content. That's the truth of it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I will be the very first to admit, and I'm pretty sure I even say it in my own description and video. I have a video that explains how to eat Vegemite, how to use Vegemite, where Vegemite came from.
I've watched it.
It's 43 minutes long, people. Now,
you know what? But you made it interesting. That's the difference.
No, but I went into it, and if I haven't, I'm sure I have, but if I haven't, I'll go back and I promise I will edit the description. But when I tell people about it, I say to them, look, it's 43 minutes, people. I'm not expecting you to sit there for 43 minutes and watch something on Vegemite. It was just that I said, you know what? There's so much content here about Vegemite that I want to share. And for anyone doing a search that wants to know how much to spread on or what to eat it with or why it was made, it's all there. You go in and you find it. You don't have to watch 43 minutes of it. You watch 5 minutes that's relevant to you. That's fine. So in that case,
I got it.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, the first time I seen that, I'm flipping through on my pop-up, my population page, and I'm on the phone with Leanne, and I'm like, do. Oh my word, what did Daz just put out? And she's like, what now? What are you talking about? What's wrong? I said, he just put out a 45-minute video on Vegemite. I said, what is Vegemite? She's like, guess you have to go find out. I don't know for sure. I said, okay. So I went and looked at it. I'm getting grossed out the more I watch this. I'm being honest with you. I'm like, that looks disgusting. What is he doing? And so I got off the phone to watch the video, got back on the phone with her. I was like, okay, explain something. Is this kind of like our peanut butter? Is this kind of like, what? I'm not following this. She said, no, evidently it tastes good and it's nothing like peanut butter. That's what she said. It's like, I never did get back to you to figure out what exactly your exact explanation of it is, but there is nothing pleasant looking about it when you smear it on that toast. I'm being honest with you.
Oh, it's fantastic. It is. It is. As everyone from Australia and Blue will tell you,
and the UK,
moderation. Yeah, and
moderation.
In moderation, because the UK actually, as proud as we are about Vegemite and everything, we actually a guy in Australia invented it to compete with Marmite from the UK, because Marmite.
Oh, okay.
Because Marmite was the big seller in Australia back in the 1920s. So
it was invented for the army.
I actually kind of wondered about that.
It was invented for during the war. It was for because everyone was on rationing and stuff, so they were getting kids with things like rickets and scurvy and all kinds of stuff. So this guy was actually approached to create Marmite as a food substitute to get some vitamins into kids and into the army, as something that was light, that was easy, to carry with them.
Let me explain this from a point of view of somebody that's never seen Vegemite. Have you ever taken powdered bouillon and put not enough liquid into it to where it's mushy and
Yes,
granuly? That's what it looked like to me.
and that's exactly what it is.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I wasn't too far off.
Okay, but on
But I
different levels,
understand the
and
point
different
behind it
companies
because,
make their own. So
oh,
you know,
okay.
when Daz was talking about doing his, Daz and I first talked about this when he was doing his video for Vegemite. And my plan for my video was to do one on all the different types.
There's more than one.
There are millions. There's not millions, but there are quite a few. There's the UK Marmite, which is...
You find this funny, do you, Dad?
Yeah. The original is the UK Marmite, and it's in a little round jar. I don't have any unpacked at the moment.
That's fine. At one time you can show me.
I will do a video on this. So you've got that one, which is a little bit different texture. It's a little bit syrupy, a little bit like honey.
Okay.
Then you've
still
got,
with the granulation in it, though, right?
It's not granulated. It is a liquid, and there's no granulation in the flavor or the texture of it when you're eating it. Okay.
It's like honey, like you said.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like that. That one's quite salty, actually. Then there's the Australian version of Marmite, which is made by a company called Sanitarium.
That's wonderful.
More of the texture of Vegemite, but a little bit softer.
You're not selling me on this. You understand that, right?
Oh, no. Then there's one called Promite, which is my personal favorite because it's a lot more herby. It's not as salty. And it's got a lot, for me, it's got a lot more flavor to it than the others. Then there's two versions of Aussie Mite, one that is OZZIE, and then one that is Aussie as in Daz's Aussie Garden. That one. That one's really hard to get hold of, and I actually contacted the company and they won't send it to me.
What?
They didn't even acknowledge me. When I sent them and said, look, I'd really like to get a jar of this to do a comparison video on all the different types of yeast extract, because that's what it is. It's yeast extract.
Oh, okay.
But if you look at like what the content of it is, you've got all your B vitamins, you've got riboflavin, you've got all sorts of like necessary minerals and vitamins that are packed into this thing. And yes, the easiest way to give it to kids is to chuck it on some bread.
Okay. So,
but it's
just so you know, go ahead.
That you can make a hot drink out of it. So if all you've got is water,
kind of like
you
a
can still
broth.
make it go further.
Kind of like a broth, then. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a broth. There's a similar one called Bovril, which isn't actually a yeast extract, but it's a beef extract.
Oh,
that's particularly made for making into a broth. But cooking with Vegemite and Marmite and things like that has been done for generations, just by using it as a gravy browning or into soups and stews and things like that, just to give it that little bit of bounce and flavor.
Got it.
That's the thing, though. The amount of videos that I've watched with people just going, "Oh, look, we've got Vegemite," and grabbing it out like it's strawberry jam. And I'm sitting there going, "Oh, dude, you're gonna regret that."
So Jesse, this is what I love about Jesse. So Jesse posted Daz's Vegemite, what is Vegemite video, but then he followed it up with some, I
was saying thank you, Modfather.
But then he follows it up with two tidbits of information. Marmite is rich in B vitamins and has no added sugar. So compared to some breakfast spreads like jam, or dare we say Nutella, it is good for you. There are only 22 calories per serving in Marmite, so it's definitely low-calorie spread option for toast. So,
and it's really good for people who are vegan because it has all the B vitamins that they can't normally get, or it's harder for them to get because they're not eating meat.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so it's got all of those in it. That's just really useful.
Are you
Right.
familiar with sorry to cut you off.
That's all right.
Are you guys or anyone in chat familiar with the channel Joy Blessed Life?
I've heard it.
Joy and storyteller Don. They go to Dollywood a lot and they travel around a lot. Really, really nice couple. They've only just done a video in the past week where they tried Vegemite, and it was, as Blue was saying, I'm sitting there watching it. Out comes a Vegemite. They had a slice of toast, and then he's got the knife like this, and you just see this big thing on the end of the knife of Vegemite, and I'm like, don't do it. And he spreads it on. It looked like, that's what I was going to say, Tony. Vegemite, think of axle grease.
Thank you. Yeah. Makes me want to eat it that much better. Thank you. I appreciate
it. Looked
that.
like, so it looked like he put axle grease with the thickness of peanut butter on his toast, and then he bites into it, and immediately it was like, and I'm just sitting here thinking, no, you just never eat Vegemite. So that's the problem. A lot of people do that, and then they say it tastes so bad, but it would be the equivalent of, I don't know, having anything just the extreme excess and not liking it. So that's where a lot of people go wrong.
Yeah.
So there you go. Jesse posted that for you. Donnie and Joy at Joy Bless Life. So
is Jesse good or what? Hell,
he is good. Awesome. He's awesome. Yeah. He sent me a message today because I had through a donation for Creekside Maples got some vanilla, and he's been trying to send it to me for a while, and lo and behold, it's ready to be shipped. You know, the only problem with it is I live in the middle of downtown where the community thing is today, and they can't deliver my vanilla.
Oh no.
Yes. So I have yet to find out what's going to happen with my vanilla.
Oh no.
Anyway, that's beside the point.
Do they not know who you are? I mean, seriously.
They know. Do they care who I am? That's
you obviously need to go down there with your hands on your hips and go, hello, Kettle Kitchen.
Unfortunately, it's the FedEx guy. That's the unfortunate part. It's not my mail person. So yeah. Anyway, so we moved into Vegemite, which got me sidetracked. But I think what I'll come back to you in just a second. All I was trying to get to is that content intrigued people. Now, did they stay there for 45 minutes? I have no idea because only you are going to know that. I did. Okay. But it's making.
I had to. It was like a car crash.
but making it intriguing and interesting is the point. And so it really comes back to, in the end of it, and this is nothing against Daz in the sense of where his approach is. The analytics don't matter if the content isn't drawing people in, really. No. Because then the analytics aren't going to apply later down the road when you need them to. So, and we all struggle with that. I got videos where I've had 20 views. I've got videos where I got 1,500 views. So I've got a wide range.
Yep. So, yeah, definitely don't get wound up about the numbers. Sorry.
You guys are funny. You're hilarious.
After you.
Okay. Well, my mostly watched video is of the cat when we first moved and let her out the bathroom. So, I don't know what that says about my channel, but.
Wow, there you go.
You guys like my cat.
What is the deal with cats? Why do cat videos? See how it is. Why do cat videos draw people in and they'll sit there and watch them for hours? I don't get it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's at 500 views, and I'm like.
So we all need to stop what we're doing.
And it took me 3 days. What is the matter with you?
We just need to make cat videos. Just stop at your door and just make cat videos.
I'll just make her do all the cooking. It's fine.
Okay, so tonight we're gonna end it in about 6 minutes. So I want you each to have an opportunity to announce something, say something, anything to share. Anything new and up and coming? Wait, before we do move any further, I do have one question specifically for Blue.
Ooh.
What happened to you with the scammer? If you don't mind talking about it.
I don't mind talking about that. Okay, so it's been an incredibly rough week. I'm not going to lie. And I am so appreciative of doing this today because it has turned my whole brain around. Because my
if nothing
brain
else,
sliding
I helped
in a
out
very
one
bad
person,
direction.
so thank you.
No, you're welcome. But what happened the day before yesterday was it went from bad to worse. Tanny and I had a fight in the middle of the supermarket. That we not even gonna lie, we were having a full-on Barney ding dong in the middle of the supermarket. And we got home and we were still snippy at each other, and we ordered food and the food came out so that it was inedible. And then so my brain was going in a bad place anyway, and I got this notification saying that the Blue Pixie Studio page on Facebook was being taken down because it didn't do something to do with community standards. And all I saw was this very small notification pop up on my phone because obviously the internet's still not fixed properly. And it freaked me out because I wasn't reading properly. I'm still, as you know, recovering from the plague. And, you know, so my brain just wasn't there. And I clicked on it. I saw it as a normal thing to go and sign in through a browser because Amazon make you do it. I didn't read the notification properly. Turned out it was a scam. 5 minutes later, someone's taking £91.99 out of my PayPal account. I spent 2 hours on the phone to PayPal with Tanny screaming behind me, trying to talk to this woman in Ireland who, bless her, wasn't her fault. But because Facebook do not have a customer service with a person on it, or even any kind of customer service at all, it doesn't exist.
No,
they have 2 phone numbers. One costs 5p, the other one costs 6p a minute. And they both have the same message on saying, we don't have, and they don't tell you the message till 20 minutes later, saying, we don't have a customer service office at this time. Mm. And it's like, because you can't get hold of Facebook, you can't stop it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the part of the business center and stuff that they want you to get to, it would be easy to do on my PC. And because it's Jubilee weekend over here, I can't get hold of the bank until Monday, which it will probably be too late. But that's the money that I put aside to do I put aside £100 a month out of my disability money that I get to have materials and ingredients to do my videos for the month. And that just means that I'm going to have to think about what I do this month because I'm not going to have that money to do it. So
get creative.
Oh yes, creation. But the good part of it was that I had snuck into the shopping in the morning a kilo of ginger so I could do my video for Jam It Up June that is due out today.
Priorities,
right? Up here for thinking, right? So
well, I'm sorry, that's the part that devastated me the most, I think, is when I realized it was attached to what you need for the month to do your stuff. Yeah. I was really
it is what it is at the end of the day, and we all have stuff that happens in life, and as long as we learn from it. I'm the first one to go scammer. I am the very first one, and I've stopped my mother from ending up with sending off thousands of dollars to some guy somewhere that she met on Pinterest. So it doesn't matter what site you're on, you're always going to get someone who pops into your inbox and goes, hello.
Yeah.
And you're ready for those. And some of the ads and stuff that come up on Facebook, that stuff happens. They're not real ads. Well, they are real ads, but they're not real websites. And I've taught people how to look for that and stuff like that. So,
Can you answer the question on the screen for me? Because you're the one with that answer better than anybody.
Tanya, that's very sweet of you. Underneath most of my videos on my channel, there is actually links for that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's Buy Me a Coffee one, I think.
Can you explain what that is? Because I'm not sure everybody understands what
Buy Me
that
a
is. I've
Coffee
heard
is
that.
where you can donate $5, £5, I think. It's a one-off payment, and that's, it's just a way of, showing appreciation or whatever to a charity.
You're not literally buying you a coffee, but you're donating, say,
you're
$5,
donating
$10,
the cost
whatever.
of a coffee, basically. Yeah.
Okay. And is that treated the same way as anything else is, that YouTube gets their portion out of it?
No. You do get charged a little. You get charged the fee, so it's you would be paying something like $5.70 or whatever it is, so that the person who's receiving the $5 is getting the whole $5, not half of it. Yeah.
I was just curious because I had never heard of it, and that's another love-hate relationship I have with YouTube. But
no, that's that. No, I totally get it. I've got the same one with Twitch, to be honest. So because subscribers there are different. You have followers, and if someone subscribes to you, they charge them the $5 a month to do that. But then they split that in half, and you only get, and then they take the tax off, and then they take this off, and out of that $5 a month, you get like £1.25.
Okay.
Which to me is a rip-off.
No, it is.
I mean, got this so that if people wanted to help with Twitch and stuff, that they could donate directly to that, and then their money would be going straight into it rather than worrying about that kind of thing.
Jesse just posted this up, and I want you to look at it because it's your stuff.
Yeah. So. They're not in my about page. They're actually in my description of my videos, or most of my videos. Yeah. Especially more recent ones. Pretty sure.
Okay. Would it be in maybe your live shows as well?
It might be.
Okay.
It might be. I think that I did do that. If you go into the video page and have a look down, more recent videos will definitely have it in there.
Okay. I'm assuming Jesse's going to look.
Because it's not what I'm about.
I get that. I like that. I'm assuming Jesse's going to look into it, so we'll come back to that if something else comes up.
That's very sweet. Thank you.
So is there anything you guys want to throw in before we're done, basically?
I just want to thank you, first of all, for inviting me. Thank you so much.
I'm going to tell you both this right now. Sorry to interrupt you. I know I'm interrupting one of you, so I'm just going to say sorry to both of you. You two will always have an open invitation into my late night chat. Always.
Oh, bless you. Thank you.
Okay.
There's the link on the screen too, everybody, in chat.
What?
Which are you talking?
What
the link.
There's a
I don't have a link
on mine. I can't see chat, so.
In the chat. I was looking in the wrong spot.
Chat.
Thank
you.
Sorry.
Jesse's put the link in chat. Sorry.
Oh.
Okay. So just if anybody missed up by my stumble over the ball, Daz was saying Jesse put the link. If you want to help support Blue, there's her PayPal link. So thank you very much, Daz.
Thank you.
That's very sweet. As always, thank you, Jesse.
Yes. I love my moderators. Love them.
Yeah, it's Jesse in particular is it's incredible. Like I was only here last week saying it, but it's true just how incredible it is that he goes to so many channels and just pow, drops links, relevant links. Last week I had when I did my live stream on mental health, I'd actually sent links to two moderators for the UK, Canada, Australia, and the USA. But on top of that, off his own bat, Jesse and the other moderator, Lisa Colovi, which I have to mention, they were listening to the conversation. And as people, my guests, were talking about services and stuff like that to access, they were going online and bringing up links to the services themselves.
I
And
thought that's what they were doing. I thought that was awesome.
That's amazing.
I was trying to pay attention to the people on screen because what they had to say was so important and give them all their attention. But the whole time I'm reading chat on a second monitor up top, and I can see Jesse and it's funny, Jesse and Lisa, but another Lisa.
Lisa, yeah.
Yeah, Jesse and Lisa were actually listening to what was being said and grabbing those links.
That is so awesome.
And then on top of that, Jesse sent me all of the links that I could add to my description of the video later for the replay.
I thought that was awesome too.
Yeah, I just can't thank Jesse enough for the help. I'm not going to say, well, obviously me, but the community. I'll take every chance I can get to thank Jesse because we all appreciate him so much.
I'm going to repeat this, and it's not to cut anybody off that has been in this position that I've not said it to before, but there are names that I specifically will always hold in my head.
Yep.
Jesse is one of those names. Jesse has been an asset to me, to my channel, to anybody I interact with. Brenda at Redbird Farm is the same way. I got Steven over at Mr. Boots and Bounty. I got Casey at Boots and Bounty. I got some guy named Daz at My Aussie Garden and Kitchen. Some strange lady over at Blues Self-Reliance. I've got, I got Lisa over at Yogi Hollow Farms. I could keep on going. My point I'm trying to make is I'm telling you guys this. In the last 28 days, and I know the Jam It Up June collaboration has amazingly made this number happen. But in the last 28 days, I have more than 180 subscribers on my channel. That does not come by myself. No. It's people like you. It's people like Jesse. It's mentors like Leanne. It's all those people together have made that happen. And I'm sure you guys on the flip side in your own could probably say the same thing.
Of course. Like as we were saying earlier, make sure that, you put out good content and follow these rules and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's all the people out there that commit their time to watching videos, making comments, giving thumbs up, hitting that S word box and being a long-term friend to the channel. It's fantastic. And not for a second will I ever forget that me, in my case, I'm so fortunate to be monetized. And that all came down to everybody out there that supported me. I can try as much as I want, but without people supporting me like that, it's not going to happen.
No. Anything you want to add, Blue?
Pretty much the same. I mean, like, I'm nowhere near monetized. That's fine as far as I'm concerned, because I'm not really doing it for the money. I'm just plodding along, doing my thing, and I have been for the last 2 years. So I'm still finding my feet. I'm still finding my feet. I'm still doing my thing, and with everything that's happened as well, I mean, like, things hopefully will start calming down now to a point where I can actually start focusing on putting more content out.
Well, your personal life has mellowed in the sense of the move and all the other things you got going on, so that's great.
Yeah. So it's a lot of the pressure and a lot of the stress is gone now, so I don't need to worry about certain things because we're here. which is why
Yeah.
this place looks like a schmozzle because we're still unpacking.
Uh,
So hey,
Just hide it.
I made the couch. Tanny was sleeping on that, and it was horrific. I made that look tidy.
well, at least I didn't find him rolled up in a ball like I did last week, so that's good.
No, he's at work again today. So yeah, bless him.
Well,
And
I
can
want to
everybody.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Can everybody please check out that last link in chat there too?
Yes, I agree with that 100%. Check out Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa.
Yes.
The mod father, his wife, the mama father, the mama modder, the mod mama, whatever word we're going to give her, the better half of Jesse and Lisa. They're great people. They are great
They
people.
are very good people.
Yeah.
Thank you. We appreciate that. I thank both of you for being here, and I truly mean, open invitation anytime. So
Happy.
One
to.
last
All right.
tip. One last tip.
Okay, hit us with it.
If you're going to go on somebody's live channel, I can't even find it. Take your hay fever tablets before the live stream, not afterwards. I've been sitting here sniffling and
Love
scratching for so long. Oh, it's annoying me. And so yeah, I'm off to take my hay fever tablets.
Alrighty. Well,
So,
have a pleasurable moment when you do that, okay?
oh, it's going to be so good. Yes. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
Thank you
It's
guys.
been
Have a
great
good
fun.
night.
Thanks, Tiny. Thanks,
Bye,
Jack.
Thank
Tony.
you.
Bye, Blue.
Bye.
Bye, Daz.
Thanks, everybody in chat.